Oh, okay. So welcome to this tutorial on LinkedIn. Today we'll be talking about how to make a LinkedIn profile and how to use it for networking and professional development. My name is Erin. I work with Louis Sella at NSC with the employment team, and we're really excited to go over LinkedIn with you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you find all this information that we're about to share, Erin and I hope you find it very helpful. And after getting this information from this workshop today, you're going to be able to registering an account, open your own account on LinkedIn, and also be able to connect in a professional level with other people and also to search for jobs and also companies that you would like to work for. Thank you.
Yes. So first we're going to go over what LinkedIn is. So LinkedIn is a social networking platform for career development. So you can use it to look for jobs. You can use it as a way to find new skills to help advance your career and look for different tutorials. You can use it as a place to display your resume for recruiters and other job contacts. And you can also edit it so that it'll update with your most recent employment and have all of your past and present volunteer experiences or different sort of work experiences. And then you can use it as a way to expand your professional network by connecting with people, other people in your network that you may not know already, or people that you may have worked with in the past. So first to get started, you go to linkedin.com. So I'm going to go and through this tutorial, like I'm setting up a new profile. So when you get to the LinkedIn homepage, you click on Join Now. And you already have to have an email set up. And so when you click Join, you would type in your email and then type in create a password. And then click Agree and Join. So this is the slide for entering your password and signing up. You can also sign up with Facebook, or you can sign up using a Google account if you already have a Gmail. So then when you go, after you enter in your email and decide what your password will be, enter in your first and last name. And then this part here is the security verification, which it may ask you. It'll usually be some sort of puzzle. So you just follow the directions on the puzzle. This one asks you to touch the arrows until the picture is right side up. So when you finish with that, you can click done. And if you're having trouble with that, you can always ask questions about it or try to have it refreshed to give you a new puzzle that you might understand better. Okay. So after you finish the security verification and you enter in your first and last name, then it's going to ask you for your location. You're going to want to put in your zip code if you know it. And then once you put in your zip code, it will give you a drop down of locations you can pick. So this asked me either for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania or Greater Philadelphia. You can select whichever one you want to include on your profile. Then after that, you can put in your most recent job title and the company that it was with, or you can just select I'm a student. If you don't have any recent employment, you can always put in a volunteer opportunity or any other sort of work that you might have done. but you just need to make sure you either put in something or select I'm a student so you can continue, and then you can always go back and change it later. If you put in a job and it's with a pretty well-known company, usually it'll be on LinkedIn. And when you type it in, you can look it up and click on it there. So if a company that you're working for is a more popular company, it'll usually show up on LinkedIn. And when you put that on your profile, you'll be connected with other people who also work the same company. So you'll be able to see that there are a certain amount of people on LinkedIn who also work at this place that you might be able to connect with and talk to about job opportunities. Then it's going to ask you for the verification code. I'm just going to go through this. So when you log into your email, after you've set up your LinkedIn account, it'll give you a series of numbers, and take those numbers and type them into the place on your LinkedIn profile where it says to put in the verification code.
They are going to send the code to your email, right?
Yes. So whatever email you use to sign up with your LinkedIn account, that is where they'll send the code, and then you would type it in here where it says to verify your account. Are you looking for a new job? You can either say yes or not now. Either way, you can always change that, and you can go in and search for new opportunities whenever, regardless of whether you say if you're looking for a new job or not on this page. So if I'm looking for a job as a home health aide, you can search for that. And then you put the location that you want to search for those jobs in. And when you click on search jobs, it'll take you to a page with all of the jobs for home health aide in your area. So when you're scrolling through this list, it'll give you the name of the company, where it is, the location, the type of job it is, whether it's entry level or a higher level position. It'll have the job description, any certifications you may need, and then you can also apply for the job directly through LinkedIn. And since your LinkedIn profile, when you update your LinkedIn profile, it has your resume on it. If you apply through LinkedIn, then it'll automatically send your resume as well. It also says the date when the job was posted. So this job was posted 2 weeks ago, but this job was posted 5 days ago, and it'll say how many people have viewed the job. So when you're looking for jobs, if you see a job that was posted over a month ago, it might be, and the position might have already been filled because that job has been listed for a while. But if you see a job that was only posted a couple of days ago, then there's a better chance that they haven't filled that position yet.
Which increases your chance to, get in contact by the company and get that interview you're hoping for to get, right?
Yes.
Something important to add there, on top of what you were talking about, if you go back to, so as she mentioned, like for that, this job posting in particular, it says that it was posted 5 days ago and it has 2 views. The other good, benefit about these two, it also tells you how many applicants have applied for this job or any other job that is being posted on LinkedIn. So in this case, it's telling you that there's 0 applicants. So as of now, there's no applicants, okay? So they haven't received any applications for this job in particular. So that also helps in terms of deciding if you decide to apply for one job or for another. So for like right now with the whole problem with the pandemic, right? The COVID-19 pandemic. So there's millions, about 33 million people unemployed right now. That means that getting a job, the process of looking for a job here in the United States unfortunately, it got tougher. So one of the things that really helps with when we apply for jobs through LinkedIn is that it gives you the opportunity to see for every job that you're reading and getting the information from. Once again, it tells you when it was posted, but especially how many applicants. So I have seen so far um, job postings that have been posted, like let's say 6 hours, 7 hours, and around that time they have over 100. So I even have seen over 200 applicants. And once again, it's because of the current situation that we're living, right, with the COVID-19 pandemic. So what I'm saying is like this is very important. These type of features that that LinkedIn offers, to all of us as job seekers, right? Because it really helps you to make the decision like, okay, so I should invest my time in applying for this job or to this other job and not this one.
Yeah. Okay. So another important thing to note about job descriptions on LinkedIn or any job description that you look at online is to see the shifts and the position and the experience and just all of the qualifications that you might need. Some listings will list all of them, some listings won't. And if you go through a listing and you see that it doesn't say something that might be important information, if you do get an interview, if you apply for the job, it's important to ask about those things if they're missing from the job description. So this one talks about the shifts and the position, but for example, it doesn't mention anything about benefits or of the company, but this one talks about the benefits and the salary that the company offers a little bit, but doesn't talk about the specific shifts. It just says all shifts. So when you go into an interview after applying for a job, it's important that you read the job description so you know what you need to ask the employer. Okay.
Yeah, so just as a refresher, so the job description, why is it so helpful for us when we are looking for jobs to read the job description? Because it's gonna explain to you, it's gonna give you so many meaningful information from the job title, something as simple as the job title, to the level of that job, the shifts of the job. What are the requirements that they're asking for this job in particular, and the skills that are needed for that job, as well as the responsibilities and the daily tasks in a full scope, which is the full scope is going to be normally the first paragraph, because it's going to contain like a summary of what the role is about and the responsibilities in general of what the job is about. The other important thing to always pay attention to it, by the end of the job description, we should be expecting to always read the benefits that that these companies offer to any potential candidate slash future employee. So that's very important. So remember what I have talked to you guys about in the past. By the federal law doesn't obligate companies, employers to offer benefits, okay? So having said this is very important, makes it even more important for us to pay attention to the benefits that the companies or the organizations we decided to apply have available and they offer to us as job seekers, right? Because that can be actually a deal breaker when it comes to decide to apply for a job, or after applying to decide to take one job over another one, okay?
Okay. So now we're going to go more into your LinkedIn profile. So every profile on LinkedIn is another person or company, and your profile will help you set up your experience and the things that you're interested in a career. So when you click up at the top, the little gray me icon is how you get to your profile. And here you can add a picture of yourself if you'd like. And then in this section, you can add your current job and a little summary of your work experience or what you're interested in a career. If you go to the add profile section feature, you can add your work experience, education, any certifications, volunteer experience, skills, accomplishments, any other information, languages about you. The work experience is probably one of the most important categories. When you go into work experience, you would edit this category just like you would your resume. So you would put your job title, the type of employment, whether it was full-time or part-time or something else, the company, the location, and then when your start date and your end date, or if you're currently working there. And then in the description section, you would write what you did at your job.
In the description part of it, that's not mandatory. So something to take into account is like some people, when they create their profiles on LinkedIn, they really like to post and expose all their working experiences, right? So in my case, I chose, like many other people too, I chose to not to write about the description of my past jobs in my current one, but like I said, it's not mandatory. So it's something that you will have to decide if you want to do it or not. In my case, like I said, I did provide all the information on my past and current work experiences, but I didn't want to go into much detail about the responsibilities I had. I feel that I should leave that out for the resume. So once the employer gets my resume, because I decided to apply to that company in whatever job they had available, they could get easily that information from my resume. And the other reason why I decided to do that as well is because I don't really need to everybody that is or any person who is on LinkedIn to get to know exactly what I have done in the past. So that's also the reason in particular for me that I decided to do that, and so many people do. But once again, there's no wrong or thing or good thing to do. It's just a personal decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you do decide to put a lot of information about your job description, you can change your privacy settings so that only certain people can see those, or you can, if you don't want to put a lot on your profile, you can still change it so that only people can see certain jobs or certain parts of your description. So however much information you decide to put on your profile, you can always change who can see it, and you can change what it says.
Could you show where that is, Erin?
Yeah.
Real quick.
So when you go to account,
that's a great point, because that's also related with the privacy side of having a
settings
in profile.
Under the privacy section of your settings, you can edit any of these to see who can see your profile and if it's public or not. If your profile is public, that means that anyone on the internet can search your name and then look up and see everything that's on your profile. But if your profile it can be semi-private, so that only people you're connected with on LinkedIn can see it, or so that only other people logged into LinkedIn can see it. And you can always change this or make yourself visible in a private mode or other settings. And then you can view when you go back to your profile. This part over here on your profile, it says edit public profile and URL. So when you click on this will show how your profile looks to the public. So on this section over here right now, this profile is visible to everyone on the internet, but if you decide to turn this off, then only people you're connected with on LinkedIn will be able to see it. Or you can change it so that people on LinkedIn can see your name, but not your headline, or they can just see your name, but not any of your job experiences, and edit this to however you want your profile to show up online. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the homepage. So when you first log into LinkedIn,
Oh,
this is the
one thing that I would like to add, I'm sorry, about
Oh, you're good.
privacy, I'm sorry, Erin, is that there's some people who like to have their profile of LinkedIn, but they don't want to have it visible to anyone who has LinkedIn, right? So what they do is like they turn their profile private. However, if they apply for a job through LinkedIn, so whoever is the hiring manager or the recruiter from that company will be able to get the information and to look at their profile. Okay. So if you don't mind and you want, like, for example, to let recruiters know that you're currently looking for a new job opportunity, so you can go back and have it public. So any person can do it. Any recruiter, hiring manager can have access and see your profile.
Yeah. And then there are other features of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is free to sign up, but there are other features involving privacy that if you decide to use a paid account that you can access. But for most general use, most people can just use the free options, and you can edit all of the privacy settings that you would need from there. Okay, now another important part of LinkedIn is the professional networking, and that's where the homepage comes in a lot, and your network connections. So by connecting with other people on LinkedIn, you can see the job opportunities that they might post, or you can also post information about yourself that will show up on your homepage. Okay. So this is your homepage, and if you're connected to other people, friends, or people that you might know from work, then you'll see them here and anything that they may post. When you go to My Network, you can see everyone that'll be in your network or suggestions for people to add to your network. A lot of the times, the suggestions will be people you work with if you add an employer, or other people that you've connected with through your email or a phone number.
Or people who went to the same university you went, or to the same I don't know, high school you went, or people who worked in the same company that you have worked in the past, or you're currently working at. That's gonna be pretty much your first option as far as networking.
And then when also you're networking, if you know someone's name but you're not a direct contact of them, you can look them up in the search bar. So in addition to searching for jobs, you can also use this to search for people. So when you search for a person, you have to make sure that the person that you're searching for is the right person. Obviously, this is Luisella. It says she's a job coach at Nationality Service Center. When you click on their profile, it shows the privacy settings that they've chosen to set. So this shows Luisella's past work history and her education, certifications, volunteer experience. And if you wanted to connect with her, you could send her a message, or sometimes it'll just say to directly connect with the person up here. And the last part is the blog. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to go over for here before we go to the blog, Luisella?
Can you go back to the job searching?
Yeah.
So there's also some some feature that is important to bring up today. That it can make your job searching easier, or make you to invest more time when it comes to applying for jobs. So so for example, this job posting in particular, this one has the option of the blue box that it says apply. So when you're looking at job posting like this one, if you click on it, can you please click on it, Erin? When you click on it, yeah, keep going. It's going to send you or take you to the website of the company or the organization. And what is going to happen, that is going to also bring you again the job description and the job title of this role in particular. And that's where you're going to have the chance to, if you type, if you go and click on the apply box, it's going to take you to an online job application. Can you click on it, please? So that's what is normally happens. So now is the website of this company in particular is taking you to the software of human resources that they use. In this case, the company that they use is iCIMS. So by the reason why they're asking you their email is because by your email is by adding your email, it will create automatically an account on this software in particular, and it will take you. Can you do it? It will take you to the online job application, depending on the software the companies choose to work with. That online job application is gonna take short amount of time or long amount of time. So it can be anywhere between 5 minutes up to 45 minutes. There's ones that are more easy because they are only gonna ask you for your resume and your cover letter. That's the most common traits there. And your contact information, and you send that out and you're done. When you see to the one, for example, that we have on the screen right now, is what it normally does is gonna ask you for your resume, and after attaching your resume in creating the account, it's gonna fill some of the areas that they're gonna that needs to be filled on the online job application. Something important to also take into account when it comes to filling out an online job application is not to leave anything in blank. Everything is important to fill in. So even if there's something that it doesn't is not related to you, or you don't have an answer to it, it's better to write N/A, which is like not, it doesn't apply to you, it's not applicable. So it's better to do that. Okay, so go back to the to the job search, the job searching from LinkedIn.
So it's loading.
So the second way, go to the one that it says Easy Apply Chief Scientific Officer. That the job posting, one to the third one.
Oh,
yeah. So the second option that we have is not gonna tell you apply only. It's gonna say easy apply, and those are the ones that are the most ideal to find, because it's going to make your application process way easier. When they say easy apply, that means that only gonna ask you for your email address, the phone number that you have, obviously in this case gonna be a US phone number, and then it will give you the opportunity to attach or upload your most current version of your resume, okay? So in this case, since Erin just created this account for her, so she doesn't have a resume to upload. So in this case, if she wants to apply for this job, so she will have to upload it. Once you upload your resume, the system of LinkedIn is gonna keep it. It's gonna keep it. So meaning next time when you have another job that you want to apply and it's an easy apply option, so it's gonna be there for you just to submit your application. So after you fill out this, all these options, email, phone number, in resume, attach your resume, you click on submit application, and that's it. At the same time, the hiring manager for this company not only gonna get your resume, is only gonna get be able to have access to whatever is information you have on your profile on LinkedIn. Okay, so it's gonna get both at the same time. So like I said, those are the ones that I like the most because it makes your job searching easier and invest less time, you know. So you'll be obviously will be able to keep looking, right, for jobs, which is obviously a very, very important element, especially when we're in the process of looking for jobs, right? We want to apply for as many jobs as we want in a shorter amount of time, right? So we can be more efficient. Not to any job, obviously, to the jobs that we really want.
Yeah. Those are all really good things to keep in mind. The last part of LinkedIn to go over is the blog. And you don't have to have a LinkedIn account to read the blog. The blog just has information on articles about job readiness or education, or different career related articles. So we'll go here and check that.
This blog is in particular very very helpful, especially when we are, you know, in the process of looking for jobs, because it gives you a lot of useful tips. It can be overwhelming at times because it has way too many information, but if we know exactly the type of information we're looking for, so for example, I'm having a job interview next Tuesday, so I want to get some tips, right?
Yeah, you can search for that up the top.
Yeah. And it really, really is up to date, and they're like constantly adding more and more information. I normally read an article from this blog at least once a day, every day, just to be up to date, to also because it's also related to what I do, right, as a job coach.
Yeah, so these are all of the articles that came from the interview search. You can, it'll probably best to start with the most recent if it's relevant, because if it's older, it might have out of date information. But see, this one was published in January of 2020, so that's pretty recent. But also this one published June of last year would also probably still be acceptable for an interview, because a lot of that information stays the same. But if you're looking for a topic that changes more easily, then it would be better to look for a more recent article.
And what you're saying is very important, because I mean, the process of looking for jobs is always gonna be an evolving process. And the reason why it's like that, because companies are always evolving, they're always changing their dynamic, and also the circumstances around, and can also make an impact on the way employers see and envision their hiring process. So that will never stop. So that's also the reason why it's so important to keep up to date when it comes to this information. The best example we can give is what is happening right now. Now, after the COVID-19 pandemic started back in March of this year, right? It changed. It has changed the way employers are hiring. Basic example, interviewing. So because of the COVID-19, people or job seekers cannot go to an office, to a location specific to get interviewed. So what is happening now is that they're doing video calls. So during these video calls, they are able to interview the candidates and make a decision. And there's also changes, including interviews. So there's also job seekers that now are looking for remote jobs and not in-person or on-site jobs. So that brings you to the employer, the hiring manager, in any company to ask new questions regarding why you are looking for a remote job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go. And especially now with COVID-19, you'll probably find a lot of articles on tips for working remotely, especially because when you're working remotely, it can be difficult to focus, or you might get fatigued or have other sort of obligations or distractions. So there will be a lot of articles on those topics and how to best to optimize, your workload while you're working from home.
Yeah. So that's the reason, these type of platforms of information they can be so useful for us.
Mm-hmm.
So something that can you go back to your profile
Mm-hmm.
in the job searching? Something that I want you to remind you is about the filters and how the filters can help you so much to narrow down your job search. Can you do an example there using the filters, Erin?
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, all these job sites, whether it's LinkedIn, Indeed.com, Monster, Glassdoor, you name it, they have many jobs available, but we don't want to go through all these jobs, right? So for example, she just typed in home health aid, that's the position she's looking for in United States. So when she clicked on search, now LinkedIn is telling her that there's over 30,000 of jobs available. So the reason why we use the filters is because it's going to help you to reduce as much as possible the jobs are available, because that will also help you at the same time to invest, to not waste time. Instead of that, to make your job search more efficient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So to narrow down my search, I selected part-time and jobs that were posted only within the past 24 hours, and that's still 353 results. So if you wanted an even more condensed result, you could put in your specific location. So if I just type in Pennsylvania, then we only get 20 jobs. So there are 20 entry-level home health aide part-time jobs that were posted within the last 24 hours.
Yeah, so now you can see the difference. So when you first type in home health aid in United States, it popped up over 90,000 jobs. But after she used wisely the filters, now she's only getting 20 job postings. So now she's gonna be able to save time and look through those 20 jobs.
Yeah, because if I'm not looking for a full-time job, if I'm only looking for something part-time, then I'm not going to want to look at employers who are only looking for full-time home health aides. And if I want to optimize my chance of getting a job, it's best to look at the most recent postings, which is why the past 24 hours will show me jobs that are just became available, that if you apply for quickly, you have a better chance of getting an interview and having a recruiter or a hiring manager read your application.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is, sometimes we do also know, or we do have our hidden, very treasured list of companies that we would love to work for. So if that is the case, if you guys know the companies you would like to work for, so one of the things that you could do is through LinkedIn, you can go to the and look for the companies, because most of them are going to have an account on LinkedIn. So let's go, I don't know, let's try with Amazon. Erin, go and look for the profile of Amazon.
Okay.
So if you see Amazon, most of the, like I said, most of the companies, mid-size, especially mid-size and big-size companies nowadays, and that doesn't only apply in the United States, it's like worldwide, they do have a profile in LinkedIn. So one of the reasons why this is very helpful, it could be very helpful for us in terms of looking for jobs, is because one, they most of the time they're gonna have all the list, a whole list of jobs they have available at the moment. So that would be another way for us to look for jobs in those companies we are dreaming of working for. Okay. At the same time, it's not going to happen all the time, but sometimes companies, when they post jobs on LinkedIn, it will tell you who is the person who is responsible for that job in particular, who is the recruiter or hiring manager of that job. Let's try to see if we, let's click on a few of them to see if they show one of the recruiters. So they could see or have a better idea. Sometimes it happens, sometimes they post it, sometimes they don't. Try another one to see.
Mm.
It's not showing.
Well, this one doesn't have it
Yeah,
posted.
it doesn't have it. So it's like I said, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. When it does, it's gonna show you the role, the job description of that role, and it's gonna show you who their hiring or recruiting manager is for that job, which is good because one of the things that I would recommend to do, and a lot of people in this area recommend, is to, after applying for that job, to reach out to that person and let the person know, like introduce yourself. So, hi, Miss Erin. I noticed that you are the recruiter, the hiring manager for the role, and you write the exact name of the role. And I would like to let you know that I have just applied for this role. I'm very much interested and I hope you give me the opportunity to get interviewed for this role. Something very short. It doesn't need to be very long. But something concise, and to let the recruiter or the hiring manager know that you are very interested in you being, proactive enough to connect with them. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And even after
Yes.
you do get an interview, after you apply for a job, you can still connect with your hiring manager on LinkedIn and send them a message and say that you enjoyed your interview and getting to talk with them
Yes.
about the job, and then you can connect with them on LinkedIn. And if you're looking for opportunities in the future, then you'll have more access to see those.
Yeah, that is true. That is completely true. The other thing is also, and go back to whatever job from Amazon. One thing that we can also see when we are looking at a job is if there's any person who is currently working, in this case for Amazon, any person who has some type of connection with you. So for example, in this case, once again, we are using Erin's profile, right? So in her profile is saying that there's one person that has worked in Nationality Service Center at some point in time, worked for some Nationality Service Center, and now this person works for Amazon. So the good thing of this is, like, sometimes one of our connections of people that we know already, they might work in one of those companies where we want to apply and work for, which is good because that person might help you put a good word for you for this role. Okay, so let's say if I do know this person, so I can connect and say, hey, I know you. I noticed that you are currently working in this company. I do really like the idea of working for this company as well. So there's a position in that I just decided to apply. Do you think it's possible to connect me with the hiring manager, or you can also ask like how is to work for this company, how the work environment is, how the benefits are. You can also ask for, you know, general information, so this person can give you also an idea of like his or her point of view of how it is to work for the company. It is true that we can think from the outside how amazing it could be to work for a company like Microsoft, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we really do know how is the work environment there, for example, right? So only people who are currently working or who have worked for a company in a point of time, they will give you, you know, the real the real story and in how the experience is or was, right? So those things, they could also help you, right, to get information.
Okay.
So
I think that just about wraps everything up. Is there any last minute things?
I think that would be it. I think the only suggestion that I would like to give you today is, if you really are interested, pretty much on, like I said before, in LinkedIn, you can find any company nowadays, especially, like I said, medium-sized and big-sized companies. So if you are really interested in a group of companies, you know, companies that you would like to work for, so it's a good idea to follow those companies. So by following these companies, you can get information of every time they post for a job. So you can actually create a job alert. So when these companies, they post a job, you will get notified. So I don't know if you can do that as like an example of that.
On the company's profile, you can click follow, and then anything that they post will show up on your news feed. So
and of course, I mean, you can also follow other companies just for other reasons, right? But the going back to what we were talking is, right, like LinkedIn as a way to a source, in a way to look for jobs and get a job. So it would be very helpful to follow also the companies that you are interested in apply, right? So she's now following a group of companies she's interested in. So now, from now on, she's gonna start getting information. Well, like right now, right?
So this post is a post that the company Netflix liked, and this is one of their directors. So when you read this post from them, if it's something that you're interested in, you can like it or comment it. Or if it's a job posting, then you'd be able to see that and apply for it. If you can also connect with people, when you see this person, if you think that they're worth connecting with, you can send them a message and a note about their post, or something related to their job, or just however you want to introduce yourself to them.
Yeah. So you also have the messaging feature that is like a little window at the bottom of your, yep, right there. Can you show it? So it's like a messenger, pretty much, so where when you have connections, so you can connect there and you can chat. So let's say Ari and I, we are friends, or well, in LinkedIn world, you don't call friends, you call them connections. So if we are connected in LinkedIn, so we can chat there if we want, like it would be like live, right? So we can have a conversation. It's just
so
like
if I was connected to Luicella's profile, then I would be able to message her and like ask her about anything related to career interests or job opportunities, or anything you'd like to put in the message.
Yeah. Did you go over the settings, like if they want to delete the account?
Yeah.
That can also happen, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, you got
yeah.
Tired of
So if you
it,
want,
any reason, right?
if you
You
want to
want to-
delete your account, you go back to the same settings tab that you did when we went over privacy. And at the bottom, it'll say closing your LinkedIn account. So you can click on that. And then you would just check off the reason why you're decided to close it. And then you would click next. And then you would type in your password. And then your account will be deleted.
Yeah. And that's it. If at some point that happens, you don't want to use it, you got tired of it or whatever, so you can do that. The same thing goes with that information. Can you go over that real quick?
And the same, if you decide to change your email address or your phone number or anything like that, you can go in here and change your email address. If you're not using the one you used to create your LinkedIn account anymore, you can change your password. You can add other verifications. You can change the language that you use in LinkedIn in. And then if you decide you want to purchase any of the premium features, you can manage those subscriptions here. But again, for a lot of job searching and general use, the free one is very easy to use and has a lot of useful features.
Yes. Any other information you would like to add before we leave?
I think that's about it for me, unless you have any questions.
So that would be all for today's presentation. I hope you guys find all this information very helpful. Our main purpose is, through this workshop is to, provide you with another way to apply for jobs that will help you to, in the process to apply for jobs. So if you guys are interested or need help on how to register an account, or would like to, have more practice on how to search for jobs through LinkedIn, you guys can contact us for sure via email or phone number. Once I send the email with the recording of this workshop, I will be make sure to add my phone number so you can contact me. You can call me or text me, and we can set up an appointment. And whether Erin or myself can help you with this. So thank you so much for joining today's workshop. Thank you so much, Erin.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too. Thank you very much. Oh,
Bye.
you couldn't hear me. Bye-bye.
Bye.